Hello and welcome back guys to the Human Manual. I am your host Ankit. How are all of you? So today we will be discussing the text 31 of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we will come to know further what was going inside the mind of Arjuna. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, then please subscribe to it. Press the like button if you are liking my videos, and also the notification bell if you want to get new notification about my new videos. So before wasting any time, let us start. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Chapter 1, Text 31. न च श्रेयो नुपुष्यामि हत्वा स्वजनम् आहवे न काङ्क्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. The translation of this text is, I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So Arjuna is saying to Krishna that he does not see any good from killing his own kinsmen. There can be no good outcome on killing his own kinsmen in this battle, nor can he himself desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So he has, as I had already discussed in the previous text, that the mind of Arjuna had completely become bewildered, and because of this he was not able to see the good outcome which was destined to come in this particular battle of Kurukshetra, and therefore he did not desire to get any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness in this way. So now we will read out the purport of this particular text. Without knowing that one's self-interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. So when one doesn't realize their self-interest, which is in Vishnu or Krishna, the conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, because the conditioned souls identify themselves as this body and not the soul, which they actually are. The soul is Sachitananda, while the body, instead of realizing themselves as the soul, they realize themselves that they are this body, and therefore they are too much attached to whatever this body feels along with the senses, and therefore they are also attached by the bodily relationships, and therefore they doesn't feel happiness, and even though they think that this will give them happiness, but ultimately it gives them frustrations, and that was the particular situation of Arjuna currently. However, we have already read that this Krishna had put Arjuna in that situation, and he had made him think like that, because Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna, he is a pure devotee of the Lord. Therefore it is impossible for him to become bewildered in that way, unless and until Krishna decides to make him bewildered. So we had already read out in the previous text that Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self-interest by Krishna's will. So it was by Krishna's will that Arjuna was thinking in that way. It was not by his own material or condition, because he is a pure devotee, he is free of the material attachments. So he was not thinking because of his own condition, but because of Krishna's will. Now this situation has been created, so we will read what Arjuna is thinking because of Krishna's will. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. So when one becomes blind by too much attachment to material conditions of life, they become blind and they forget even the causes of material happiness. Now Krishna is the Sarva Karana Karanam, he is the cause of the material happiness also. So they forget that also, that Krishna is the cause of all causes. Arjuna appears to have even forgotten the moral codes for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies on the battlefront and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. So what is the moral code of a Kshatriya? The moral code of a Kshatriya is to fight for is to, first of all, he should rule over a kingdom and protect the citizens of that kingdom with every way possible. And if he dies in a battlefront, then he directly goes to the sun globe. And also it is similar to a person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture. They are also destined to go to the sun globe, which is very powerful and dazzling. Arjuna is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. So not only Arjuna is reluctant to kill his enemies, but also his let alone his relatives. What to talk about his relatives? He is not willing to fight, willing to kill the enemies. What to talk about his relatives? He thinks that by killing his kinsmen there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight, just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. So just as a person who is not hungry doesn't feel inclined to cook. This happens with me as well. When I'm not hungry, or I think that I'm quite content with my food, I'm not hungry, that time I don't feel like cooking, even though the situation may demand that I should cook now, so that later on I can eat during the time of dinner, lunch, or whatever. But you don't get the inclination to cook. So similarly, here the condition of Arjuna is also like that, where he thinks that killing his kinsman, by killing his kinsman there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight, because he is not able to visualize the real outcome, the positive, the correct outcome of this war, which is the establishment of dharma. He is not able to visualize that, and therefore he is not willing to fight with his enemies. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence, because the Kshatriya cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But as a Kshatriya, it is the duty of the Kshatriya to have a kingdom and for his subsistence, because the Kshatriya cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. It is the duty of Kshatriya to have a kingdom and look after the citizens of that kingdom, and he cannot do any other occupation because he is not entitled to do it. But Arjuna has no kingdom, and Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in the fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. So such is the bewilderment of Arjuna, that even though for a Kshatriya a kingdom is very necessary, and at this point of time Arjuna has no kingdom, and he is thinking of going to a secluded place and going to the forest and doing the yoga over there. So he's not thinking that his mind has become so much frustrated that he thinks that it is better to go to a forest and live in seclusion rather than to own a kingdom and rule over it. And that kingdom is the kingdom which has been inherited, which is the Arjuna is the rightful owner of the kingdom, because the inheritance is coming from his father to him, which the Kauravas had illegally snatched and cleverly snatched from the Pandavas. So Arjuna's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration. So his mind has become so much frustrated that he thinks that it is better to go to a forest and live a life full of seclusion with frustration. So we can understand how the condition of Arjuna has become right now. So we will see further in the text 32 of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we will see what Arjuna is currently facing in his mind. What is the storm he is going through in his mind, and finally we will look what Krishna answers, or what is the response of Krishna to it. So that's it from my side. That was text 31 of the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Thank you for watching this video, and press the like button if you are liking my videos, and also the notification bell if you want to get new notifications. And also please subscribe to my channel if you want to get new updates. So thank you very much. Bye bye.